Hooray! Hi guys, it's Ogo Lamatams, also known as Gelo Up Z, girl from Zambia. If you're new to this live stream and YouTube channel, please subscribe so that each time I upload videos, you'll be notified that Gelo Up Z post a video. Thank you so much for 77,000 subscribers. Na totela sana. In this video, I would like us to discuss the Republican president of Zambia's speech, which he stated on his Facebook page, which is a verified page, and it's in regards to the loans that Zambia owes to the Chinese. And his statement was quite long, and I'll be reading it for you guys so that we can discuss and you tell me what you think of his statement. So the president wrote, "Fellow countrymen and women, as you may already be aware, earlier today, Monday 20th July 2020, I held a very progressive telephone meeting with His Excellency Mr. Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China." Now I'm going to stop there. We've had a lot of COVID-19 cases in Zambia, and for the past weeks we have seen the president go from different places, almost, we can say he's campaigning subliminally and also giving monies to different people, checks. We've seen the current government, sending people to go and protest in, the youth are protesting against the opposition leader, and when the youths of Zambia want to protest, they are told there's COVID-19, and yet they are holding parliament every time and having conversations there. Obviously, I've only seen the speaker wearing a mask. Well, some people are wearing masks as well, because of Bill 10 being an important thing to the current government. They really want to push Bill 10 so that they should be in office even next year. And then the president posts that he had a telephone meeting. I watched a live interview of a young youth, Tom, who was talking about, why should the president be having these meetings, and why should they be having parliament when there is high cases of COVID-19. We've had 2 ministers, members of parliament, die due to COVID-19 in the past days. Some are critically ill. One is in intensive care from what I've read. And some are quite not well because they've been moving around the country, meeting people and things like that. And then he says he had a telephone meeting. So to me, it showed that it is possible to make meetings within Zambia via telephone, and they are successful. Because the president made it clear. He even issued a statement. There was even a statement from the president where, it was from the State House, important agent. The president had a conversation with the president of China. I'm thinking, okay, there's so many issues that have happened where the president has never said it's agent. The youth have complained about things. The president has never said agent. But a phone call conversation, it was an agent letter on social media. So are their priorities misplaced? Yes. Yes. I'll say that, and I'll say that, and I'll say that. If he can have a telephone conversation and make a statement and share it as an important thing on his page, it means that they can also hold meetings via Zoom and via telephone and say, oh, because of COVID, we were not able to meet. We've talked about this. Parliament has been adjourned, so we've been speaking. Technology has changed. It's advanced now. And even the president himself, he has attended meetings now during this period of COVID-19 with the UN, officials on Zoom. And, it's been possible. So he further adds, during our very cordial meeting. So he can have a conversation with the president of China on the phone, and it's very, very important, but he cannot have a conversation with his minister. Say, oh, okay, I'm not coming to see you today because of COVID-19. I'm not going to this town because of COVID-19. How are you? But the Chinese one, it had to even have a whole statement on his page. During our very cordial meeting, we both acknowledge the excellent historical and current relations shared by our two countries. In addition, President Xi Jinping and I agreed on the need to further enhance cooperation at bilateral and multilateral levels for the mutual benefit of the people of Zambia and China. Hold on. Mutual benefit for the people of Zambia and China? What was the agreement? He just stated that, they acknowledged that their, historical relations, that we should further enhance our, cooperation, which is why these guys keep on pushing for Bill 10, because they know they have China backing them. And because China is backing them, they will push any agenda. And if you've watched the videos of CR1, I've shared on my YouTube channel, CR1 say that what? You will hear many cases of COVID-19, and all of a sudden cases have shot up. So was it deliberate that they were meeting in so many places, as many as they could, so that they should declare that there's so many COVID-19 cases? Because how come it's only them who are having COVID-19? Only one political party. I mean, we expect the opposition as well to also have COVID-19 patients, but no, only them. Only the current government has COVID-19 patients. Strange. He further adds, with regards to COVID-19, we both called for the concerted global efforts, as well as commended the World Health Organization for its leadership and coordinating role in the global fight for the pandemic. Okay, Integrity says, let him extend this gesture to citizens' loans in Zambian banks. Hopefully that could be done. Okay, so he acknowledged, they both acknowledged that the World Health Organization, they're working well. Yes. On my behalf, and on that part as well, I'd like to say that I watched a video of Dr. Chilufya, the very corrupt Minister of Health. He had received some, COVID-19 equipment all the way from China. So I believe that's also part of their relationship as well. So he now added, of importance too, during our telephone meeting, I also called for debt relief. Did you hear that? So these live streams we've been having, they've been powerful, impactful. We have stated that the reason why Zambia is, making people like Mao Sampa apologize is because they know the agreements they have with China. And this is one of them. I mean, if you're owing the Chinese government a lot of money, why would you be asking for a debt reduction? I don't buy this. There must be a certain agreement that has been made. There's something that they've made. There's an agreement that they've made to say, okay, I will push for Bill 10. I will say there's lots of COVID-19 cases. I don't trust them. I'm sorry. I don't trust them, and I won't buy this. Before I read on the debt relief, he said, yeah, okay. So he says that on behalf of, before I read on the debt relief, on my own behalf and behalf of our nation, I also conveyed our sincere gratitude to His Excellency President Xi Jinping for China's continued support to Zambia's COVID-19 response. I want to say something about that. It looks good on paper. It looks good on statements like this, when in the actual fact, yesterday I received a long message from somebody who has a family member who is sick, who has COVID-19, and they need to go and get the drugs for themselves at the pharmacy. Now, there's no medication in the hospitals. So I don't understand what type of response that the Chinese government has done towards Zambia. Because the other day again, I received another call from the police officer that called all the way from Sesheke, complaining that they don't have COVID-19, protective equipment. So with this, is it the face masks they're giving them? Is it money? I don't know. Chambo says, I love your song. Thank you so much. On us since 88 says, Edgar Lungu is not for the people. He is doing everything just to benefit himself. In Zambia, we don't have a president. I was shocked, I was really, really shocked about this. Austin says, hey, Lila, I see you doing a tremendous job. God bless you. Thank you so much. So I was really shocked about this. I mean, why would the president say all these things if the Zambian people are complaining? Anyway, let's go further. Of importance too, during our telephone conversation, I also called for debt relief and cancellation in light of reduced domestic revenues arising from the negative impact of COVID-19, as well as the competing needs for our country to secure adequate resources to effectively fight the pandemic and stimulate the economy. Excuse me, you don't just wake up and tell the Chinese people to say we're canceling the loans. This is to make us feel that Zambia is not in debt. We are running the country really well. Everything is going on well, and the debt as well has been cancelled. I don't think you just cancel debts like that. What is the agreement between China and Zambia that we don't know of? You can't just say you've cancelled the loans. Okay, President Xi Jinping, and I also agreed on the need for Zambia and China to continue with the age-old tradition of working closely together to safeguard common interests, including matters concerning the United Nations Security Council. This is a very good write-up, but I don't think we need China to secure any safeguarding of common interest in the matters concerning United Nations Security Council. How? How is China going to safeguard Zambia when China's interest is land in Zambia, when China's interest is the resources of Zambia? So I don't know how Zambia benefits from China. What I see is those in leadership benefiting from China more than the Zambian people. That's what I see. Okay, so I'm still scrolling down. It was a very long statement, and I thought it needs to be analyzed. So during this, he calls it a progressive telephone call. It's a progressive telephone call. During this very progressive telephone meeting, I further reaffirmed Zambia's commitment to the aspirations of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, which has already yielded tangible benefits for Zambia through a number of developmental projects, really. So Zambians have apparently benefited from developmental projects. From what I can see, a lot of Zambians are complaining about poverty. From what I can see, a lot of Zambians are struggling. From what I can see, even though the Chinese are here, or whichever foreign investors, Zambians are paid peanuts. Zambians are treated anyhow. And also the fact that there's COVID-19 now, some Zambians are even kept under quarantine as well. And for the Zambians to benefit in the developmental projects, is it the roads? Because the roads are the ones that we mainly see Chinese people doing, and also, what else do the Chinese people do in Zambia? They have shops. They sell they sell all sorts of things, goods, and they hire Zambians. So when it comes to development, I think they benefit more than the Zambians, because they get the gold as well. They make money. They give loans to Zambia to build infrastructure, which we cannot eat infrastructure. The Zambian people cannot eat infrastructure. The Zambian people need real, when we say real development, we're talking about, even though you build a road, you build a school, you build hospitals, there is medicine. You cannot build a beautiful hospital and people have to buy their own medication. You cannot build beautiful roads and people are even struggling to get money to get on a bus. So the economy itself is a dying economy. I commented even on Mr. Hakainda Hichilema's page, because he's posted something very long, and I'm going to read it separately because I want to give them, a chance, a voice on my platform separately. This is President Edgar Lungu's post, and I'll read the one from Mr. Hakainda Hichilema, and I'll break it down for you so we discuss that one as well in a few minutes. So he said, in conclusion, but equally important, I reaffirmed Zambia's continued support. Zambia's continued support for the One China policy, and applauded the introduction of the national security law that will secure the long-term security and prosperity of Hong Kong. So he's not backing down on China, and this is also clear evidence that they have a strong relationship. But there's so many important things that have happened where people have been gassed up. John Mabuko, I'm reading a statement from the president regarding the Chinese loans being cancelled. He said that the loan has been cancelled. There's so many things that have taken place in Zambia. The gassing. The president has never issued an agent statement. But this one was like, it's progressive. It's important. I've spoken to the president of China. Excuse me. The president of China did not put you in power. It was the people of Zambia that put you in power, because the people of Zambia, they're the ones who trusted you as a leader to be in leadership. But you've neglected them. A whole post from the president talking about a phone call conversation with the Chinese president. When Zambians don't even have a 3-square meal, when Zambians can't even afford masks, when Zambians can't even afford school fees, when the Zambian youth are struggling, when the Zambian youth don't even have opportunities, when the Zambian youths have been, they've removed their student bursaries from the Zambian youth, the meals allowances, so many things. But a phone call from China is important. So this is him declaring, this is my backing. My backing is China. And I have to do everything possible to make sure that we declare that the One China policy and the introduction of the national security law, which will ensure long-term security, is reaffirmed on his page. Clarence says, the people of Zambia are not in any debt. This is, it's the so-called leadership. Yeah. So, the president has clearly said the debt is gone now. The loan is cancelled completely. They've agreed, and because of COVID-19, which I know is part of what we've been saying. What is the contract between the president or the current government and China? Nothing. How I wish that phone call was public. How I wish that phone call was Zoom phone call that we can see and say, oh wow, our president did actually have a phone conversation with Mr. Jinping and they said this and that. So there's so many missing points and elements in this. And I truly don't believe there was any loan cancellation. I don't know about you, but I don't believe there was any loan cancellation in that. And what else? Let's go to the top. What else don't I believe in? Yes, and I don't believe in the fact that you know, they acknowledge that the World Health Organization is trying to, you know, I don't, I'm sorry, I didn't find this really convincing. I didn't find this convincing. This is too quick to just say, you know, the loans have been cancelled because of COVID-19. We will still want to know how much was the loan that was cancelled. Or we are owing $3 billion and this has been cancelled. But it was just like, we've agreed to cancel the debt. Even if the debt has been cancelled, what is the benefit of China? Because China will not come to Zambia and say, I'm canceling the loan because the president has called me, when China is looking at how they can benefit from Zambia. You know, they are looking at becoming stakeholders in all Africa. In fact, China wants to own the whole of Africa. So what was said, actually said in that conversation, I would really love to know. I don't believe this statement. Okay. Clarence says, thanks, Lily. Blessings continue the efforts of the universe. Thank you so much. Word of Tarawa says, if there is no more debt, that's because they've sold the country. It's like a loan from the bank. You can't pay back, you know, gay responses in our case, our country. I don't buy this. I don't know about you, but I don't buy that the president can call. I mean, who are you? I mean, even though you're the president of Zambia, I mean, you know, these guys have got so many countries that owe them money. They're even going to Jamaica. They're going to all parts of the world looking for land. And then you should just say, Jinping, I think today, let's just cancel the loan because Zambia right now, COVID-19, I don't buy that. This is to convince the voters, because next year we have the elections. So they want to convince the voters that if you're worried that we have debt, it's been cancelled. They are playing on everyone's mind, honestly. Okay. Thank you so much for the super chat, Honor Since 88. Thank you so much for the $14.99. This is 2020. Why should I celebrate when the government build a road? Zambia has a low population. Imagine if we had good governance. Everyone would win. Definitely. Shenik says, the loan can never be cancelled. China wants to take over Africa, as it has been predicted that by 2030, China will be overpopulated and they need Africa. So they will start with Zambia, then Malawi. Shenik says, Edgar Lungu thinks that people are stupid. Honestly, like, I didn't buy this. I'm like, you just called China and said we are canceling the loan. I'm like, as if you're talking to a friend. You know, this is a country that wants to be superpower in the world. You know, coronavirus, we know, we've watched videos and stories of COVID-19 and how people have exposed COVID-19, and then you just want to turn up and say we've cancelled. I didn't believe it. I'm sorry. Okay. All in says the president of Zambia is a traitor. Therefore, this one I want to read. Guys, you can read what this person says. Is the only judgment. Ate says anything about loan cancellation is a scam. This are election campaign tactics. Honestly, I didn't buy that. I was just like, nah, get out of here. I don't believe this. Honestly, I couldn't believe this. I didn't believe it. Ahana says, keep it up, watching you from Monze. Hi, Mambo, good to see you. You know, I don't believe this loan was really, really cancelled. So I thought, let me just do a quick stream so that we just have a close discussion, and then before I bring more people, because we're gonna go further into this, you know, do you think the loan has actually been cancelled, or this is just campaign tactics? I believe it's campaign tactics. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so Shenik says God will judge. So I mean, the president, he's blessed. He can just call the Chinese president and say, Jinping, let's cancel the loan and we've agreed that we'll be working together. Nah, I don't believe that. Hi, Michael from India. Good to see you. China has destroyed poor country Zambia. Natasha says China has put the whole world in a big mess. They must cancel all the loans. Their corona has killed and crippled the world. I'm telling you. John Mabuku says it was a fake talk. Who can trust Edgar by all what he has cheated over stolen photos? Like, honestly, why didn't the president of China share? You know, we had a conversation. They even issued a statement. And yet the Zambian people have gone through so much, you know, and he's never issued statements where people have complained the youth are protesting in the bushes. He's never said anything. And then he makes this amazing long pause. I'm very critical. When I see certain things, I scan and I say, this doesn't make sense. You know, to me, it just looks like a very, plastic surgery. You know, it looks so plastic. It looks fake. You know, I couldn't buy it. Shenik says loans are never cancelled. Like you said, banks take your car, your house, or if you miss a payment. So how will China say it's okay? Oh, Lungu, keep the money. Stupid man has sold our beautiful country. I'm shocked. Like, did he expect you and me to believe that China has cancelled the loan and it's fine? I believe Magufuli, because Magufuli said, I'm not paying back. But he was saying, we had a conversation and we want to maintain our relationship with China. Meaning that is a promise that they've made to China that, look, we are going to make sure we win the elections next year, 2021, so that we should continue our relationship together. You know, so I don't believe this at all. So thank you so much. I wanted to make it quick, 30 minutes, and then we're doing live streams, lots of live streams today. Next, I'm talking about Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. So just wait for the next stream, because I want to make them short, so that people can watch this, and then they understand the topics at a time. Okay, do we have laws that protect the country and the citizens by impeaching the president? This is a serious question I ask, because it seems they can do and say anything and people believe. That's how it is. They expect people to believe anything they say. Zambia, John Matambo says, Zambia just needs to change leadership. The government has done us bad. The issue of the loan cancellation is a joke to make Zambians laugh about in 2021. Honestly, like, they are working so hard. Even the videos that we've been sharing on my YouTube channel talking about the youths don't have empowerment initiatives, and they are so rushing, providing finances, so many things. All of a sudden there's fish farming projects, but for you to even get to those monies that they're talking about, you have to go through a difficult process. At the end of the day, you won't even get the money. So why are you saying there's these opportunities? There is no opportunities for the youth of Zambia. And that's why, for me, I keep on saying this. Like, look, there's 3 things that can change our country. If we have better health care, we have better schools, meaning children should not be sitting on the floor. Children should not be sent home because they've not paid school fees. It should be compulsory. Every child should go to school, until tertiary education as well, where they just pay something small, and even the government can offer student loans like what they do in the UK. And people are able to finish their studies, and then they start paying only when they graduate. But it seems their priorities are misplaced. 1 minute they're offering funding for fishing, the other minute they're offering for this, and people are tired, absolutely tired. And all these are campaign tactics so that people should say, oh, they've cancelled the loan. And it takes somebody who is sharp to know that this is a game. I don't believe it. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. I wanted to make it short, 30 minutes. See you on my next live stream. Keep it locked. We're going to be doing the one on Mr. Hakainde Hichilema just now. Keep it locked. I'm coming back in a few minutes. Love you guys.